Never. Never.
Never.
The first catcalled, I want to say it's at the start of high school, because that's mostly when I started hearing those type of things.
Oh my god. It's really, I know what I'm gonna do is probably too high because I know it's gonna be gross. The real answer is gonna be gross. Like what, 13? Yeah, that's gross.
No, I haven't.
No.
No, in the workplace, no, never. So what I define as a compliment is like just saying something very nice, like, oh, you look very nice today, or like, I noticed that you changed something with your hair. That could be a compliment. That can be recognized as a compliment. But like saying something that's like sexual about like a coworker's body parts is inappropriate.
I think sexual harassment is when another person makes an unwanted approach or like a sexual kind of motivated approach to another person, no matter the gender. It can be a man on a man, a woman on a man, it doesn't matter. It can be anybody.
I want to say like my late teens, early 20s that happened, and yeah, it's really jarring.
I might have been as young as like 10, I think. Yeah.
I think the first time I was catcalled was probably when I was in 5th grade, around then.
Oh, I might have been in middle school. I remember I was wearing a pair of jeans. I mean, who doesn't wear jeans, right? But I was walking to someplace, maybe home, and there's a car who was driving by, and they just made some really vulgar comments, and it made me feel really uncomfortable and unsafe. It also made me feel really dirty, like, why are people looking at me in this way? So after that, I just like started wearing my backpack lower to kind of cover myself in a way, to protect myself. But ever since then, like anytime I walked outside, I made sure I kind of looked at what I was wearing, and I was just more conscious of people around me.
It makes me very uncomfortable because sometimes like the guy will say something to me like in an insulting way, and then he'll just insult me. And it's not like I even incite it or even like say anything back. I'll just like flat out ignore it, but then I'll just get insulted afterwards. A lot of men themselves aren't catcalled, but not even by the other gender. As far as other men go, if like other men do it to them, that's when they'll feel like, oh, this is weird and uncomfortable. I'm not even like attracted to you. Well, exactly. You know what I mean? So I think not understanding the other side of that and then just not being called out on it, I think that's why a lot of men do it.
I was a barista and I was just doing my job, was working with a customer, and my manager came up behind me when I was working, and he placed his hand on my upper back and then proceeded to move his hand down the lower back when I was trying to work with a customer. And it was really upsetting because I was just doing my job. I never reported it, never did anything about it, and that's really frustrating. It made me feel very small. I also have to remind myself too that other women face worse in the workplace, and that's just one of many examples.
In my opinion, the difference between a compliment and sexual harassment is intent. So like I said earlier, when you give someone a compliment, you have a feeling of trust built with that person. So when you give them a compliment, you're showing them appreciation for their hard efforts. In contrast, with sexual harassment, it's more to do again with power or intimidation, to just say that they can do it. Because what else? How are you going to respond? And it's usually really used to objectify a woman's body and say that her sole value lies in her body parts and her sexuality, not at all with her humanity or her intellectual capabilities.
I was at summer camp and there was like boys versus girls, and they kept making comments about us not like being as strong, you know? And like it just really got on my nerves. And when I called out the counselor who was making the comments, he just started laughing at me.
I think to a certain extent I am respected as a woman, and I say that because there are laws in this country that protect women's rights. But on the same token, I would say women are disrespected because there are, again, catcalling, other forms of disrespect. I mean, the wage inequality, their rights just and their issues being secondary to men's. That makes it really disrespectful in a lot of ways.
The advice I would give to young women and teenagers would be that progress is happening. You may encounter sexual harassment, you may be disrespected, you may feel less than. However, you have the power to change your situation, to always just listen to your feelings. If you feel like something's off, it's off. Feel empowered to do something about it, and if that means that you can't do it independently, find a friend, find an ally to help you figure out how to navigate the situation better, because you have allies.